Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Well, it is 1:04 a.m. and I just filled my gas tank up. $57 to fill my gas tank. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't think gas was even that expensive, but I was really low. So it's kind of toasty warm in here, but it's really nice outside. It's 66 degrees outside. I am going to vlog for a little while, and then I'm going to go home and finish Orange is the New Black. I have a half an hour left. I got home last night, and I had like an entire, like the whole, I had the second to the last episode to watch, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes long, and I didn't realize it was that long. And maybe an hour, 10 minutes. I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know. And then the last episode's an hour and a half. And so I was sitting outside watching it today because Peter was inside. Because Alex was inside watching Lucifer. So I couldn't just sit like right there and watch it too. So I was sitting outside watching it while he was watching Lucifer. And I got so tired. I was like, I'm going to lay down for a little bit. So I ended up taking a nap and sleeping forever. I had like the longest nap. The nicest nap. I was so comfortable. I woke up. Do you ever wake up and you're like, I am so comfortable right now? I was like, I just felt so comfortable. And Boo Radley took a nap with me. And so anyway, it was a good day. I'm trying to think of what I did. I actually didn't leave the house until later. And I didn't even end up getting coffee today, I don't think. No, I didn't get coffee. I ended up... I usually like go and get coffee and run my errands and then come back and like whatever videos I want to film for the day film. And I didn't do that. I filmed my videos. Well, I wanted to do a review video today, but that didn't happen because by the time I left the house it was like 5:30 and Alex was getting home at 6, and so I wanted to be back close to like when he got home, or he was getting off work at 6. So but he didn't end up leaving until like 6:30 because he was working on a project. And he didn't want to eat anything tonight because he had eaten earlier today and he had leftover pizza from yesterday. So I stopped at Yats, which is like this Creole restaurant, and it's one of my favorite restaurants in Indianapolis. And I hadn't been there in a long time. I either have to turn on the air, which you guys know, it gets like really cold in here really quick, or I have to open the window. But I love this restaurant. It's called Yats, and it's like red beans and rice and things like that. But they have all different kinds. Well, I haven't been there since I've been a vegetarian because I used to always get this thing called drunken chicken, and it's so good. And they make like you know, different kinds of like red beans and rice and jambalaya and etouffee and things like that, and then they put it over rice, and then they have like the best bread in the entire world. It's really just highly buttered bread. It's like Italian bread, and they play like real fun music in there and stuff like that. And it's super cheap. Like my dinner was like $10 and I got extra bread. It was not healthy. But I got, so they have, they're real earthy, so I knew that they would have vegetarian options. And they had like 3 or 4, and I asked him which one was the best, and he said the vegan white chili. So I got the vegan white chili, and then with bread, and, which I was also thinking, like, you know, in the fall, well, I guess it is the fall, but like late fall, if I get hungry for chili, that would be a good go-to place for it. So I had that, and bread, and a root beer. And then I was going to go to the Meijer because there were some things I needed to buy. But by that point, Alex was home and I was tired. I was like, I'm just going to come home. And so I came home, and that's when we sat around and talked for a little bit. And then he was watching Lucifer. And he talked to his mom at some point because he was talking to his mom and it woke me up. We've got like something we're doing this weekend. Like, I'm excited about it. It's like some pumpkin patch kind of deal or something like that. It'll be fun. And tomorrow I have a haircut, and then I have a sober thing that I have to do. Somebody is texting me. And then I have a sober thing that I have to do early evening, but it's real short, so it's only like an hour. And Alex is having dinner with a girlfriend of his tomorrow night after he gets off work, but he works later tomorrow night anyway. And his going out to dinner coincides with my like sobriety thing, so remembered that I was like, earlier today I was waiting, I don't know how I forgot this, for like one of my recovery friends to call me, and they never called me. I don't know why. They must not care about me. No, I'm sure they just got busy. So yeah, I'm gonna finish Orange is the New Black tonight. I have to tell you, I'm kind of really sad that it's ending. Like, I'm really sad about it. And it's like each character, main character, they're like going in there. I'm wondering how they're gonna end it. I have a feeling I know. I think it's gonna be with like Piper being on the outside or something like that. And it just like, I don't know, but like, I think it's gonna be like that. It has to end with Piper. It started with Piper, so. I mean, if I was going to theme the whole thing, oh my God, you guys, do you watch, okay, so if you watch Orange is the New Black, they do a flashback with Poussey, and, I, like, literally started bawling on the front porch. And my neighbor, oh, this is funny, I have to, hold on a second really quick. So I was watching it, I don't even know what this is. People are sending me. Hold on just a second. Okay, it's like a sign up for this conference thing. I'm like, I think it's a little late to be signing that up, to send that to me. Anyway, so I was sitting outside last night watching it, and my neighbor, she gets up, not my young neighbor that's been in some of my videos, my other neighbor on the other side that they just moved in there. She gets up early because she goes and takes care of her grandchild. And when I say early, I mean like 4 o'clock in the morning. Early. She's up real early. And they have this golden retriever that is like older and hilarious, okay? It just walks, I mean, like, has no boundaries whatsoever. So I was sitting there on the front porch, and I can only like see like this much. And all of a sudden, their dog just comes walking across at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm bawling my eyes out to the scene with Tasty and P, and they're like, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like bawling my eyes out. Here I see this dog, and I was like, and then all of a sudden she's standing right there. She's like, oh, and I was like, oh, and she's like, you do stay up late, and I was like, yeah, I'm finishing up Orange is the New Black, and she was so sweet. She was like, oh, she's like, I watched it in like 2 or 3 days. She's like, you haven't finished it yet? I go, no, I know I'm late to all of it. And then today, so we stood out there and talked for a little bit. She was really sweet. And there's actually like a dog in our neighborhood that's lost. And there's all these signs that say like lost dog with this like number on it. And it looks just like her dog. And I said, we were really worried. Like Alex said it yesterday. Was it yesterday when we were driving home from dinner? Yeah, he was like, oh my God, that looks like, you know, the dog's name. And he was like, and I said, I know, I think I've seen the dog though, because sometimes the dog just stays inside, you know, like they don't bring it out a whole lot, because it's older. It's like an old golden retriever. It's so sweet though. And a PP loves him so much, but Boo Radley just barks his head off at him. He goes, like when he's outside, and this dog pays him no mind whatsoever. But I said to her, we were worried that, you know, he was lost. And she was like, yeah, people keep on thinking that. She's like, I'm starting to think that people are going to think it's that I have the lost dog. So anyway, but we stood outside and talked for a little bit. I know people would probably find this hard to believe, or maybe you wouldn't, I don't know, but I'm actually, even though I jokingly complain about some of my neighbors, I'm actually a lot more neighborly than you would assume. I'm always outside talking to one of the neighbors if they want. I'm like, hi, how are you? Oh, good, beautiful evening. I know, it's so beautiful, isn't it? I've become that. And I'm so proud of my moms, too. My pumpkin. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't even remember now. But I was thinking today, like, because I want to keep on watching shows, you know, like the normal people do. They watch the Netflix and the Hulus and all that stuff, kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, what show do I want to watch next? Tanya's watched like all the shows, and people keep on. Oh, I just remembered. Elle texted me earlier. You guys, I have been so behind on stuff today. Elle texted me today, Elle Leary, and she was like texting me about a show to watch. I think on Netflix or maybe Amazon Prime. I don't remember. So I'm gonna have to go. I think it was some crime documentary she told me to watch, so I'll have to watch it. But anyway, oh, I wonder if she sent it to me because, okay, so The book for October for the book club is The Iceman by Philip Carlo. Philip Carlo is The Iceman, and it's about this mob guy. I can't remember what his name is. But I know that there's been a lot of documentaries done about him, and there's actually, like, I think some interview. See, it got really cold in here really quick. I think there's, like, some interview where they went into prison, and they did something with him. But I don't know anything about the case, so I'm really excited about reading it. Mel is kind of slightly obsessed. She's extremely obsessed with the mob. So, she, for her birthday month, she wanted to pick something that was mob related. And so she really looked into it, and this was the book that she picked. So I'm excited about it. Like, I read it on my BookTube video yesterday, and it sounds incredible. But since I posted that, I'm starting to get, like, tons of people telling me, like, all the greatest mob books and stuff, which is cool, you know? So, yeah, I'm excited because, like, you know, we've already got our books planned for the rest of the year. We've got November and December that we're going to read. But for next year, we haven't really started talking about what we want to read yet. So there's all kinds of options open, you know. The book club is so much fun. I love it. I have such a blast with the book club. And Mel is so fantastic, and she knows I love her. She's sending me a scarf that she crocheted, and it's in the mail. It's on the way. She sent me the tracking information, and I can't wait. I'm gonna wear it all fall and winter. So anyway, so I was thinking about that today, about like what my next show is going to be. Tanya has watched everything. Alex has watched everything. Well, Alex and I watch different shows. Like, he didn't watch Orange is the New Black, and I watch Wentworth. He doesn't watch Wentworth. And I watch all the crime documentary series. He doesn't watch any of those. He did watch season 1 of Making of a Murderer. And then there's a new show that came out with Toni Collette called Unbelievable. I really want to watch that. Or maybe it's not new. I don't know. But I just saw the thing. It looked like it was new at the top. And I love Toni Collette. I've loved her ever since Muriel's Wedding. Muriel, you're horrible. Or did she say, Muriel, you're terrible? My friend and I, back in the day, we had this joke, because we both loved Muriel's Wedding. And we had, goodbye, porpoise spit. We had this joke, and there's this part where she shows up to meet with all of her girlfriends, and she's like, she goes, I got a new job. I'm a beauty consultant. And my friend and I, we used to go back and forth, and we would just, he would call me up on the phone, and he'd be like, I got a new job. And I'd be like, oh, really? He'd be like, I'm a beauty consultant. I'd be like, you're so stupid. And then there was this guy, she's at like some resort, and this guy comes up and talks to her or whatever, and it's like her ex or something. His name's Tim Sims. And so she's telling her friend, and the girl goes, Tim Sims, don't know him. And so whenever, like, back in the day, my much younger years, when I would go on a date, and I would call my same friend, because he was the one that we had the joke about, and I would say, oh, I have a date. And he'd be like, and I'd say, and he'd go like, well, oh, really? With who's it with, or whatever? And I would start, before I even say anything, he'd go, Tim Sims, don't know him. And the funnier thing was that we actually did know somebody named Tim Sims. So anyway, I wonder what happened to him. That was like 25 years ago. Do you guys have like lines from movies that you use with your friends? That movie, Muriel's Wedding, is fantastic. But if you've ever seen it, there's a scene when her mom is like shoplifting slippers, and she's not meaning to. She just, her feet are hurting her because they're so swollen, and so she puts these slippers on in the store, and she leaves her shoes, and she walks out, or I don't know what they are, like flip-flops or something, and she walks out, and she gets like in trouble for it. It's just the whole shit. Like, there's so much to it that's so sad. I want to watch Wentworth. Did I say that already? But that's another drama that I don't know. I call drama. Well, when I'm not a drama channel, I call it drama. I don't know that it's another, I don't know that that's what I want to get right into. There's like 3 or 4 things. I did start watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch or whatever, again, like a month and a half ago. Do you remember me talking about that? And then I watched like 1 episode, and that was it. That was my long investment into it. Alex can watch like 3 or 4 shows at the same time on Netflix. I just cannot do that. Like, I have to watch like one and stick to it. And then it's very much like an audiobook. Like, when I start it, I'm like, okay, so it's, you know, 8 episodes. I can finish this in 4 days. I'll just watch 2 episodes a day. And then 3 months later, I'm still on episode 2 or 3. I'm so behind with all of it. Did you hear that? Well, not the window, but look, we're way out in the country. It's so pretty. I love that silence. It's so pretty. Oh. I don't know what is going on with my window. Every time that happens, though, somebody tells me what to do, and then I always forget. Like, somebody leaves it in the comment sections, and I always forget. I don't want to get home too late, because I really want to watch the show and finish it tonight, and I already know it's gonna emotionally wreck me. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, oh, I'm trying to finish Orange is the New Black. I have like a half an hour left, and I have to watch it tonight or whatever. This is right before I was taking my nap. And she was like, oh, I finished it in like 2 days or something. And I was like, really? I go, is the very last episode real emotional? And she was like, no, not really. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought the whole season was emotional. Like, I don't do well with goodbye seasons. I'm not somebody that does real well with goodbyes anyway. I've got such attachment issues to everything in the world, obviously. But, that's my basement. But, you know, like, I get real attached to a show, and then I just don't ever want it to end. And I'm kind of like that with Orange is the New Black. I mean, it seems weird to me to think that, like, I've been watching this show. This is the 7th season. So, for 7 years, I've been watching the show. Lost was the same way. I was a wreck when Lost ended. I think the very first show that ever ended for me like that was The Wonder Years. I actually remember the last episode of Wonder Years, which I don't know why, but I think it had such kind of like, it like implanted into my brain, because I think it was one of the last shows that I watched, and I watched like every episode, because I watched every episode of The Wonder Years. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't watch like the last year or 2 or something, and I just went back and watched the finale. But I don't think so. I think I did watch them. I don't know. But I remember that last episode, and I remember it was like 4th of July, and they were doing like, they had like some kind of parade or something. Or is that how the show opens? I think that's how the show opens too. It's like the thing that they went back and they like explained it. I don't know. I just remember that last episode and Winnie Cooper and all of that. God, that seems like so long ago. I remember the last episode of Roseanne. I still can't watch that one without bawling my eyes out. Back in the day when I wanted to get a good cry, I would put on that last episode of Roseanne and just watch the last 5 minutes. When she's sitting there in the kitchen and she's talking, and then all of a sudden it flashes and it changes, and she talks about how Dan died, and you know, we really are a generation, I think, of people that are attached to pop culture and social, you know, media and music and all of this stuff. You know, it's interesting in a way that, like, I know my dad and, like, my mom grew up with, like, TV shows, and my dad grew up with, like, radio shows and stuff, you know? But I don't think really in a way like we ever did. Although I do remember my mom talking about, like, my mom was really attached to, like, the Saturday Night Live cast, because she watched, like, every episode of Saturday Night Live, always and forever, she did. And, huge neighborhood garage sale wall, right? And, she would talk about, she remembered the very last episode of The Mary Tyler Moore Show, which if you've never seen the last episode, you should look it up on YouTube. So I don't know, maybe it hasn't changed a lot. Maybe it's just different kinds of shows or something. An elevated level of investment, you know? I think that a lot of us watch shows together with friends. We talk about it at work. I think it's a form of communication and talking about, TV shows we take to social media. We talk about it on, the Facebook and the Twitter and things like that. And I think, people, they find, camaraderie in talking about TV shows. And I think we escape into it, And I think to some degree we even almost develop relationships with the characters that are in the shows that we watch. It's interesting because so we watched the end of the 90210 reboot, which that show is so incredibly bad, but it's so incredibly good at the same time. I don't even know how to explain what I mean by that. But Luke Perry not being on it is really strange. And I was talking to another friend about that, and she was like, I was just really sad that Luke Perry wasn't on there, And I was asking her if she watched Riverdale. I don't watch Riverdale anymore, but Alex still watches it, I think. And so he was a character in Riverdale. He played Archie's dad. And so, Luke Perry died. And my friend was like, well, I loved Luke Perry and whatever. Well, we were like in high school, college, whatever. So, celebrity crushes, I'm sure, things like that. But at the same time, it's like, was it just that, or did you love the character of Dylan, Or were we more invested in the character of Dylan? And so that's why people love Luke Perry. You know what I mean? Did you really know Luke Perry? I think about that sometimes, like with my vlog, like, I love doing my vlog. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but do I see myself being 62 years old and driving around in a car doing a vlog every night? Probably not. Like, do I see myself at 59 doing it? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, what age limit I would put on that. Do I see my vlog changing over time? Possibly. But, like, I'm coming up on the end of 3 years. I have vlogged, if I make it to December 31st, I have vlogged every day for 3 years. And the last two years, well, really the last 2.5 years, has been a minimum of 40 minutes a day. And I know that there's a lot of people out there. This channel doesn't get tons of views on it, I understand that, but to me, when I look and I see that there's an average of 2,000 to 3,000 people that watch this vlog every day, that's crazy to me. That 2,000 or 3,000 people are invested in hearing about my lame day, you know what I mean? Or whatever's going on in my life or whatever. If you put 2,000 to 3,000 people in a room, that's a lot of people. And that isn't missed on me. YouTube is very much a numbers game, right? And you see that somebody gets, 700,000 views on a video or 2 million views on a video, and I think at some point it kind of loses sight of what that really is. But when you talk about somebody getting on a video every day for an hour and talking, and that there are 2,000 to 3,000 people that are invested in listening to me talk every day, like, that's a big deal to me. I really appreciate it, And I sometimes think to myself, like, so I watched, Shep, God, I don't even remember what their channel is now anymore. I used to talk about it on here all the time. They broke up, and then the channel, I think, is still just sitting there, but like with no new videos. Shep 683 or 386 or something. It was Will and RJ, and they were a couple. I think they vlogged every day for 6 or 7 years. I think it was 7 years. And I know there's other vlog channels out there that have vlogged every day for years and years and years. It's not like I'm like the only one out there doing it. I don't know that there's a lot of vlog channels out there that vlog as long as I do and have for as consistently as I have. I don't know. But I sometimes think to myself, like, if I were just to end this, like, one day, like, that would have to be, I know that there are people out there, that are like, well, Peter, I can take it or leave it. But I know that there are some of you out there, literally, because you message me and you email me and stuff, and you're like, thank you so much for your vlog, and I go to sleep to it every night. It's, like a podcast. And, I know some people don't like it when I say that, but I do get that comment quite a bit, you know? What time am I on? Oh my God. So anyway, you know, and then I wonder, like, what would happen if I just stopped, you know? And then I was thinking about this the other day. I got real sad about my dogs. Got real sadly, you know, about my dogs getting older. And I did do a vlog back in the day. And I mean, my dogs have been in a lot of my vlogs and videos and stuff like that. But there's a vlog. I would have to look it up to find which one it is. But it's called, like, Dog Days. I put dog in the title because I wanted to remember where to find it someday, because it's a video of me just with the dogs in bed talking and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe I need to do a whole vlog of me just with the dogs, you know, and Alex and stuff, so that I have that as a video on my channel that I can go back and watch, you know, when they're not here someday. It kind of weirds me out, though, like, when I think about, you know, I'm talking about my love of TV shows and stuff like that, that I would ever just be like, you know, like, I mean, it kind of makes me sad, honestly, like, when I think about that there will come a day, like, when I'm driving along and I'm like, you know, okay, you guys, for the last time, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Like, I don't know, there's, like, this weird, like, the connection that I have to this channel. I don't like endings. I just don't like endings at all, you know? I've been so emotional lately, I have no idea why. And I think that, you know, I know to a lot of people it's just, well, it's just a YouTube channel, but to me it's so much more, and it's been so cathartic for me, and it's been so fun for me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not thinking about giving it up anytime soon, you know? I mean, it's not anywhere even on my radar to give it up, but I sometimes do think that, like, how would I end it, you know? Farmhouse out here is so pretty. They have this little lake out in front, and like the colors and the fountain change. And it was funny, I was talking one night in my vlog about living out in the country, and somebody said, well, no, I don't really see you doing that. Well, no, I don't really see myself doing that either. But I think that, like, in my fantasy life of me, like, living on a farm, like, I think, like, there's always been a part of me, like, in my head that lives on a farm. I don't know how to explain it that way. I don't know, I just like the simple life, you know? And that being said, I love the extravagant life too, but if I had to pick between the two, I mean, I love nice hotel rooms, I love taking trips, I love nice things. I mean, I'm not gonna bullshit about that. But if I had to pick between the two, just live a life of kind of simplicity is nice, I think, you know? Like I was talking about last night, I'm not going to get into all that again. This water is from earlier today, and it is warm. It is real warm. But I'm having another sip. They have a fountain in their lake, too. It's really pretty. It's weird to think that we're, like, kind of on the precipice of, like, well, not this week, but of, like, the weather changing. Although, like, I saw that it was going to be, like, I was, like, so I follow, like, this weather guy on Twitter or whatever, and for Indiana, he's, like, a local meteorologist, and it's supposed to be, like, tomorrow, upper 80s, and then by Friday it's supposed to be 90, which is crazy. I don't hate it, though. And, did you ever see that episode with Ellen when she called that one woman on the phone? I don't know what just made me think of this. And the woman is like, she said something about, I might swear, I might drink a little bit, but I still love Jesus or something like that. Did you guys ever see that? It was so funny. I was gonna stop, hold on. So anyway, I can't remember what that Ellen episode is. If you've never seen it, look it up. Search it on the YouTube and or search it on YouTube and just put in Ellen, I still love Jesus, and it'll pull it up. Because she calls this woman on the phone, and the woman is talking to her about something about recording the episode, or can they send her a copy of it or something. It's so funny what she says. You know, I read that book this summer. I don't know that I've ever actually read or listened to it all. I don't remember. What's it called now? I just had a total brain fart because I started thinking about, what's it called? These Ellen clips that I was watching. And she had this, like, girl that was on the Missy Elliott video. Do I just, like, watch all of the videos that are, like, have just trended this week? Is that what this is? Because I feel like every time I talk about an Ellen video, somebody's like, yeah, I saw that too. It was on this week. But, she had this, I don't know what made me start thinking about this, but anyway, and I don't even know what I was talking about before, but she, had this girl that was in some Missy Elliott video, and then she had her on, and now she's grown up, and she had her on again. I love Ellen. I love that her show's been on as long as it is. And I miss Oprah. I miss the days of talk shows. Like, when I was growing up in the summer, we would watch, like, we called them quiz shows. Do you remember? Game shows and quiz shows. We would watch, Sale of the Century. I loved Sale of the Century so much. And, what was the other one? Where they would go around the board, and it was like, no more whammies. Do you remember that one? I watched that. I watched Pyramid. I watched, what other game shows did I watch? Well, of course, Always the Price is Right. But then, in the afternoon, we would watch, like, well, this was, I guess, junior high and high school. Geraldo, Sally Jesse Raphael, Jenny Jones. What's her face had a talk show for a while. I can't think of her name. That was in Hairspray. Ricky Lake. Phil Donahue. Did I say that already? Geraldo. Oprah. God. There was somebody else. Oh my God, Joan Rivers had one. There were so many good ones on. And we would watch those back in the day. Do you remember that? I miss those kind of talk shows. Phil Donahue, like, I remember, I mean, is he still alive? Is Phil Donahue still alive? I don't even know. I watched him a lot. He and Oprah did, like, some very serious shows, and then Geraldo did a lot of, like, the Club Kids. My friends and I watched the Club Kid shows with him. I might have been out of high school, and that was on. And Phil Donahue did the Club Kids, and Joan Rivers did the Club Kids. Which those are actually in... Some of those clips are, like, in that movie Party Monster, too, if you've ever seen the movie Party Monster. That was such a great movie with Macaulay Culkin. If you watch the, there is a documentary, I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, but it's about Michael Alig, who's the one that killed Angel, and he was the one that ran all of the Club Kid stuff. He's actually from South Bend, Indiana, where I'm not from. South Bend is way north. It's like 3.5 hours north, but there's a documentary on Netflix. It's actually very well done, and it's called, like, Glory Days or something like that. And it's about the whole Club Kid thing and Michael Alig and how he ended up killing his friend and after he gets out and all this kind of stuff. And there's a scene where he and his friend are, like, watching they're watching Party Monster. It's really interesting, actually. And he's like, well, some of that stuff was true, but like this didn't happen or whatever. And then he's like calling his friend who is that, what's his St. James? Why can't I think of his first name? He's like talking to him. He's like, well, why did you put that in there? Like that didn't happen or something like that. It's an interesting documentary though. I'm real fascinated with anything to do with the Club Kid era. There was, actually, I think Michael Ehrlich has a YouTube channel. And kind of a little bit of like a cult following, I think, to this day. He does a lot of artwork now. There was actually another documentary too, I can't remember what it was called, but it was with Peter Gatien. Well, the Glory Days one was one, but then there was another one that was really, really well done. I'll tell you another documentary that was actually fantastic. Was about, and I think I talked about it on here. Why can't I think of her name? The woman that, Susan, oh shoot. Her name's not Susan. Maybe it is Susan. But she runs all the parties in New York City. That documentary was really well done. Also the Kevin Aquan one was really well done. If you like stuff to do with the beauty industry. It was sad, but it was good. And I haven't talked about these. There was a period where I was like watching a documentary every night. Do you guys remember? The Death and Life of Marsha P. Washington, is that her name? That was really, really good. About her and Sylvia Rivero and stuff. It was sad, so sad though. A lot of those documentaries are just really sad, aren't they? I started watching this one about this. This was on Amazon. It was about this writer or documentary guy that went to LA and he stayed in this hotel that like a lot of people rent out. He rented it out for like 3 months, I think, because that's when his money was going to run out and he just wanted to do this documentary. And so he just like stayed there and all these people were like, would be like actors and actresses and they were all just like screenplay writers and they were just like drunk every night and stuff. And it just was really sad. Like I got like 20 minutes into it and it was just like the desperation of all of it was just so sad to me. I just was like, I don't know like how they live this life. They were having like this party at this one person's apartment. I don't know. I just think, I don't know. Like, Wild Wild Country. Okay, I do not know who recommended that documentary to me. Look at that, my t-shirt just keeps on sitting in one place. I don't know who recommended that documentary to me on Netflix, that series, but that is one of my favorite documentary series I've ever watched on Netflix. It probably, well, I mean, I like them all for different reasons. Like, Making of a Murderer was so fantastically done, and I'm like so into that whole case anyway, the Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey case. And I do think that there will be a third season on that, because that Kathleen Zellner, I think she'll be, like, it'll all be about her in the third season. I don't know, maybe not. But The Keepers was so interesting to me. I don't think there will be another season to The Keepers. And then The Staircase. I mean, The Staircase took 10 years to film, so I don't think there will be another episode, another season to The Staircase. That was just really sad to me. No matter, I don't know what the truth was, that story. I don't know if he did it. I tend to believe the barn owl theory. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you don't do it, if you haven't watched the series yet, okay? Don't watch it till after you've watched the series. Trust me, okay? But if you've seen the series called The Staircase, go look on YouTube and just like search The Staircase Barn Owl Theory. And it's a possibility of what could have actually happened to her, outside of what the documentary is about. And there's like some legitimacy, it seems like, to the theory. I don't know. The Keepers was really well done too. I just thought it was really well done. What was the other one that I watched that I really liked that was kind of like that? Oh my God, you guys, I don't know where you could find this, but Gone, the Forgotten, is it The Forgotten or The Lost Women of Ohio? That was so well done, about the girls that were going missing and they were prostituting and they were heroin addicts in this area of Ohio. And the person that did the documentary, I can't remember for what, but they started it and then it was cut short because they were told they couldn't film anymore about it or something like that. But that documentary series, it was on TV, so I don't know where you would find that, but it was really good. Tragic, but good. Of course, The Wonderful and Wild Whites of West Virginia. Is that what it's called? The Wonderful and Wild Whites of West Virginia. That is one of my all-time favorites. That one is eye-opening. One that was really interesting to me that I really liked was the woman the lesbian that owned the bar in LA. What was that called? Something Last something was her name, and then Last. That was really good, and I just kind of watched that by accident, and because it was recommended to me underneath the Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson, Marsha P. Johnson, not Washington. Huh. I'm hungry and I need a little snack. A little snack. I need to pull in here and see if Phil Donahue is still with us. I think he's like my dad's age, actually. I don't think he's like that much older. Oh. I'm like in my head, like, do you wonder why Oprah and what's his name? Why can't I think of her boyfriend's name? Stedman never got married. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I mean, do you ever wonder? Do you care? Hello. What was I looking at? Oh, Phil Donahue. He's 5 years younger. He's 83. What? He'll be 84 December 21st. He's still active right now? What is he doing right now? He's married to Marlo Thomas. I didn't know that. They live in Manhattan. It says he's still active, but I mean, he's not doing any TV shows, is he? He has like 5 children, did you know that? I love the Wikipedia. How old is Oprah, like 60? Let's see. 65. She lives in Fisher Island, Florida. Who knew that? I didn't know that. Her residences are Montecito, California, La Valette, New Jersey, Telluride, Colorado. My dad loves to go skiing there. Maui, Hawaii, Chicago, Illinois, Fisher Island, Florida. So basically 6 of the most expensive places in the world to live. Her salary in 2013 was $75 million. Net worth is $2.6 billion as of June 2019. $2.6 billion. And you're afraid to ask for a raise. Trust me, I get it. She's been with Stedman since 1986. Is Sally Jesse Raphael still alive? Yep. She's the same age as, she's 84. She's the same age as Dr. Phil. Did you know that? Not Dr. Phil. She's the same age as, do you think that's so nice when Dr. Phil and his wife always walk off the stage together? I think it's so nice. Okay. She's 84 years active, but she isn't doing anything today. She is still, you guys, for real though, can I just show you? She is still wearing those red glasses. Can you see? You can't see. It's the only thing you can't see. Look at that. She's still wearing those red glasses. Hey, Sally Jesse. Do you think she goes by Sally or Sally Jesse? Like, if people call her, do you think if they call her on the phone, they're like, hey, Sally, and she's like, I only go by Sally Jesse. Do you think her closest friend's gonna call her SJ? My friend Valerie, she always is getting new glasses. And she was always asking me, she's like, do you like my new glasses? And I'm like, yeah, I love them. They're always very nice, all of them, right? From now on, I'm gonna refer to her as Sally Jesse. She's always getting new glasses. Hey Valerie, since you watch my vlogs, I have a question. Do you like the Beach Boys? That's what I always ask her when we're at the casino. I'm always like, hey Valerie. She's like, you're being annoying. I'm like, do you like the Beach Boys though? Because they always play like the Beach Boys. Wouldn't it be nice if we... Oh, The Big Chill. I want to watch that movie again. I have not watched that movie in a long time. And Alex has never, this is my two thoughts, we're going together at the same time. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and Alex has never seen The Big Chill, and I've always wanted to show it to him. And St. Elmo's Fire. We should have a Saturday where we watch like movies like that. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? No, not really, it wouldn't. Now I'm like older than they were in The Big Chill. God, what happens with our lives? One day you wake up and you're ancient. Wouldn't it be nice if we... I'm not actually really a fan of the Beach Boys. Are you? Like, do you guys like the Beach Boys? I'm not really a huge fan. Construction. I don't know what they're building over there. Do you think one day we'll ever just say enough? Oh my God, the battery's gonna die. Actually, I have another battery with me, but I'm gonna end this and go home. I was gonna say, do you ever think that we'll ever one day just go, enough? Enough is enough. No more building. We don't need any more stores, any more strip malls, any more apartments. What we have is what we have. And just leave the trees. I wish we would. Anyway, okay. Oh, do you guys know that song by John Denver and The Tree? What was it called? It was in that Christmas album with the Muppets. I loved that song. That Alfie, I think it was called, or something. Anyway, okay. I gotta finish this before my battery runs out. I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday. I'll be getting my haircut. Unless you have other plans, but like I always say, don't have other plans. Do something fun today. Do something different. Make the most of your day. You're exchanging a day of your life for it. Do something amazing. Make this the best day of your life. Live as if you're on borrowed time, which you are. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a dress rehearsal. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day while you're getting ready or getting ready to go to bed at night or whatever you're doing, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I love you. You are valuable. Treat yourself well. Treat yourself compassionately, loving, and kind. Treat others compassionately, loving, and kind. And yeah, and most importantly, let somebody else know how important they are to you today and how much they impact you in a positive way in your life. There's a lot of people out there that need to hear it. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.